You're sitting in a Pompeii wine bar in the summer of 79 AD, and your buddy just said something wrong. Dead wrong. He's arguing that the Emperor Vespasian built the Colosseum, and you're pretty sure it wasn't finished until his son took over. You want to whip out your phone and settle it in 4 seconds. Except there's no phone. There's no internet. There's not even a library card because the library is a 2-day walk away and it's in Alexandria. So how did you win this argument? Quick question, did you just lose? Did the loudest guy at the bar automatically get to be right? Kind of yeah, and that's the part that breaks most people's mental picture of the past. We imagine ancient people patiently debating until truth won out. Mostly they didn't. Volume won out. Status won out. Whoever had the better toga usually got the last word. But here's where it gets weird because humans, being humans, absolutely hated losing an argument to volume alone. So over thousands of years, we built an entire underground economy of fact-checking. It just didn't look anything like Google. Take ancient Rome. If you needed a fact fast, you didn't ask a search engine, you asked a slave. Literally. Wealthy Roman households kept an anagnosts, a literate enslaved reader whose entire job was memorizing texts and reciting passages on demand, like a walking, talking database with 0 rights and a really bad employer. Move forward to medieval Europe, and arguments in taverns or courts got settled a completely different way, trial by combat. If 2 nobles disagreed about who owned a piece of land in 12th century France, they could legally strap on armor and fight it out, on the theory that God would make the honest man win. Convenient if you happened to be the better swordsman. Less convenient if you were right but scrawny. By the 1700s, coffeehouses took over the job. London alone had around 3,000 of them, and each one basically specialized. One for stockbrokers, one for poets, one for scientists arguing about Isaac Newton. If you had a dispute, you didn't Google it, you walked to the coffeehouse that housed the specific nerds who'd know. Edward Lloyd's coffeehouse got so good at settling shipping disputes that it eventually turned into Lloyd's of London, the insurance giant. An argument over a lost cargo ship literally built a multi-billion-dollar company. Now here's the twist that actually explains everything. For most of human history, the person who settled arguments wasn't the smartest person in the room. It was whoever had physically memorized the most stuff, because information storage itself was the bottleneck, not information access. That's why the printing press in 1440 didn't just spread books. It started dismantling the entire social hierarchy of who gets to be right. Suddenly a merchant's kid with a cheap almanac could out-argue a nobleman who'd never read anything past his family crest. And that's really the whole 1,000-year story compressed into one sentence. Every argument-settling tool we ever built, the reader slave, the trial by combat, the coffeehouse, the almanac, the encyclopedia, was just a slower, clunkier, occasionally more violent version of the thing sitting in your pocket right now. By the 1900s, the job had a name and a desk, the reference librarian. In 1968, the New York Public Library alone answered something like 4 million questions a year, by phone, from strangers who just wanted to know things like how many teeth a shark has or who won the 1908 World Series. No algorithm, just a person, a card catalog, and a rotary phone. Then in 1996, 2 grad students at Stanford started ranking web pages by how many other pages linked to them. And by 2001, just Google it had entered common usage as a phrase. The entire multi-thousand-year chain, slave readers, sword fights, coffeehouses, almanacs, librarians, collapsed into one search bar. So back to that wine bar in Pompeii. Your friend is still insisting Vespasian built the whole Colosseum. You can't Google it. But now you know your options. You could hire a reader slave, ride to Alexandria, or just wait about 2,000 years for a search engine. Or you could do what people actually did for most of history. You could just agree to disagree, and let the argument die where it started, unresolved over a cup of wine, in a bar that a volcano is about to bury anyway.